If you stand by now, you can come on the most spectacular ride of your life. Tonight, proof that the space race is far from over, and the space cowboys with the right stuff aren't relics of the past. This time, though, it's private companies competing for both passengers and profit. They're led by a maverick called Burt Rutan, and he's something of a genius when it comes to flying machines and aeronautics. As Ed Bradley reports, he's just embarked on a bold new adventure, sending tourists, like you and me, to the moon.
Turn it, Jeff.
This rather unusual-looking airplane is called White Knight.
They just crank it around hard right.
It was built for one purpose, to carry this, a rocket plane called Spaceship One, the first spacecraft ever built by private enterprise.
This is much like flying a light aircraft.
White Knight and Spaceship One are the latest creations of Burt Rutan. They're part of his dream to develop a commercial travel business in space.
I will predict that in 12 or 15 years, there will be tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people that fly and see that black sky.
In order to prove that prediction, Rutan first had to prove that his manned spacecraft could successfully reach space. And on June 21st in Mojave, California, that is what he set out to do. It would be the world's first private spacecraft. Mike Melville, a 63-year-old test pilot who has worked with Rutan for 27 years, was chosen to be the pilot.
That morning, how did you feel? I mean, were you nervous, concerned about your safety?
Sure. Yeah, you know, when I walked out to the ship, put the parachute on, you got butterflies in your stomach, naturally.
Cool. This is the big one, Burt. Cool. Thanks so much for the opportunity. We got the right guy. Yeah, I think so. It's just an airplane. Don't worry about it.
White Knight Tower, runway 30, clear for takeoff.
White Knight is a twin-engine turbojet. It was designed to be the mothership that would carry Rutan's spaceship high enough to launch it into space. It took White Knight 63 minutes to reach the launch altitude of 47,000 feet.
10 seconds.
Once at altitude, the White Knight crew prepared to release Spaceship One.
Ready, man? Yep. 3, 2, 1, release. Clean release.
You try to get to the arm switch as fast as you can. You get to the firing switch as fast as you can. You set your head back against the headrest, grab the controls, and you're along for the ride.
And fire.
The fierce acceleration slammed Melville back in his seat. He put Spaceship One into a near vertical trajectory. But 8 seconds into the flight, he ran into wind shear and overcorrected.
Left pedal, left pedal.
Then the spaceship rolled and veered off course.
You know, your imagination will play tricks with you at that time. You know, you're going extremely fast. You're kind of getting to the end of the burn, and I thought, honestly, something broke.
It wasn't anything serious. 30 seconds later,
Engine shut down. I did not shut it down. It shut down on its own.
in fact, a timer set before launch had shut the motor to a glider.
That's locked.
Perfect landing.
After that June flight, I felt like I was floating around and just once in a while touching the ground.
Because
We had an operable space plane.
Rutan's operable space plane was built by a company with only 130 employees at a cost of just $25 million. He believes his success has ended the government's monopoly on space travel and opened it up to the ordinary citizen.
I concluded that for affordable travel to happen, the little guy had to do it because he had the incentive for a business. Ever since 1968, I've been active designing an airplane that I want to fly, sometimes for customers, sometimes for myself.
In 1986, his plane Voyager, with his brother Dick as one of the pilots, captured the country's imagination when it became the first airplane to circle the globe nonstop without refueling. It was a feat that made Rutan famous and won him the Presidential Citizens Medal.
I want to thank Ronald Reagan for providing and maintaining this environment that was devoid of government regulations that would have made this thing impossible in any other country that I can think of. I only filled out 2 pieces of paper for the U.S. government.
I challenge myself to design things that I don't know how to design.
Big brake actuation, master cylinder.
Work on White Knight and Spaceship One started 3 years ago in secret.
Okay, pick it up so we don't hit the jig.
Both aircraft were custom made from scratch by a team of 12 engineers using layers of tough carbon fabric glued together with epoxy. The result was a body that was both strong and lightweight.
Go ahead and feather it, Steve. Okay. Feathering the wing is kind of a dramatic thing in that it changes the whole configuration of the airplane.
Wow.
And this is done in space. By having this real high drag is much higher up in the atmosphere, you slow down sooner and you slow down softer. We have done 6 re-entries, 3 of them from space and 3 of them from lower altitudes. And some of them have even come down upside down. And the airplane by itself straightens itself right out.
By September, Burt Rutan was ready to begin the next phase on his agenda to make astrotourism a reality by competing for a prize worth $10 million.
At first, it wasn't important to us. The prize was just kind of, oh, that's frou-frou. The most important thing is for us to show that a private small company can fly a manned space flight. Later, after we had flown the June flight and we had reached the goal of our program, then the most important thing was to win that prize.
That prize was the X Prize, created in 1996 by wealthy space enthusiasts to stimulate private investment in space.
See you soon, bud.
Yeah. The first of the 2 flights required in 2 weeks was piloted once again by Mike Melville. Melville spent weeks training for the mission in a flight simulator. Unlike the space shuttle, Spaceship One doesn't rely on computer control.
If you're going in the shuttle, you are in a Greyhound bus going to space, and the computer's driving the airplane. If you're going in our spaceship, you're the guy, and if you don't fly it, you're not going to come back.
Armed fire.
September's flight put Melville's skill and training to the test.
Okay, 60 seconds coming.
Oh, you're getting really high rates here.
As he was climbing out of the atmosphere, the spacecraft suddenly went into a series of rolls.
were you concerned at that point, or did you think I can work this out?
Oh, I thought I could work it out. I'm very confident when I'm flying a plane. When I've got the controls in my hand, I always believe I can fix this, no matter how bad it gets.
Shut off as soon as possible.
Shut down. 328. Shut down. Copy that.
Spaceship One rolled 29 times before he regained control.
The rates are slowing down, it's looking good. Copy that.
The remainder of the flight was without incident as Melville began the 20-minute glide back to the Mojave Airport. The landing on that September afternoon was flawless.
Excellent.
For the second flight, it was test pilot Brian Binney's turn to fly Spaceship One.
You know, this is going to be the most fun one. This is a money flight, baby.
Holy crap, that was close! Not as close as it looked. Spaceship One continued upward on a perfect trajectory, breaking through to space. Rutan had flown to space twice in 2 weeks.
Gotta love it.
Captured the X Prize, the $10 million, and bragging rights over the space establishment, which he frequently criticizes for being inefficient and bureaucratic.
You know, quite frankly, I think the big guys, the Boeings, the Lockheeds, the naysay people at Houston, I think they're looking at each other now and saying, we're screwed.
Assuming the government gives him the green light, Rutan plans to be up and flying by 2008. And according to him, that is just the beginning.
The goal is affordable travel above low Earth orbit. In other words, affordable travel for us to go to the moon. Affordable travel. That means not just NASA astronauts, but thousands of people being able to go to the moon. I'd like to go, wouldn't you?
Hello, I'm Liz Hayes. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.